Alright, so what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, man. It's your boy, and we're back in the APK for update 6.0. And yesterday I gave you guys a first look at the OG Black Widow, Natasha. And for this one, man, I want to give you guys a first look at Yelena, aka Lil Sis. Alright, the new Black Widow in town. And a lot of you guys are excited for her, even though she's a paywall character. I've been getting plenty of requests to see her, so we're gonna take her for a spin today. We're gonna test her both with and without the uniform. I think this uniform looks really cool, and honestly, overall, I think she's gonna be a good character both with and without the uniform. But I don't think she's gonna be super OP, busted, top tier type of character. You feel me? Based on what I'm seeing right now, she is looking like she's gonna be good, but it might just be good for Shadowland. Okay? Because if you take a look at the base kit, you're gonna notice some interesting things. Okay, so take a look at the one skill, no iframe. It looks really cool to see her walk up like a boss and just light people up with the dual pistol. That shit just looks like, let me show you guys from this angle, man. That shit just looks really cool. Let's turn off the AI and just have her walk down like this. Okay, hold on, look at this. Man, she just looks like a savage, all right? But let me just go back out. You're gonna notice already, if you're any kind of like Marvel Future fighter, you already noticed there's 3 different skills, and between those 3 skills, there's just a guard to protect her. The only reason why this is looking good right now is because this is in the preview, and in the preview and in Shadowland, you can guard break people. If you can't guard break people, those 3 skills for the most part are garbage. So yeah, this though has an attack buff, you can see right here, so that's good, right? But in terms of survivability, she seems lacking. She seems incomplete. You have a small iframe there. Look at this. Again, I don't know what the Future Fight team is doing. This skill, it starts off looking really good, right? You have a slight iframe with AoE and damage, but again, because this is not a full iframe, when you can't guard break the enemy, that's problems. Next up, the 5th skill. Look at this. The skill literally has no type of tracking, right? She literally just fires these missiles out of the sky, like basically shoots down missiles out of the sky, and if the enemy just happens to be around you, cool, you get damage. If they move away from you, you're just shit out of luck, right? The good thing is this skill has damage accumulation and it has damage immunity, right? So that's good. But out of 5 skills, we only found like 2 things that's good, and this is a character that's costing money. Don't know what these guys are smoking, man, but it's that loud, right? So yeah, that's Yelena's base kit, and it doesn't get changed very much with the uniform in terms of like effects. You'll see for yourself, right? So 1 skill, they didn't even bother to put anything besides the name and the cooldown, right? 2 skill, stun. 3 skill right here, 35, 135, that's good. 4 skill, nothing of note here, okay? Real talk. 5th skill, damage accumulation, damage immunity. Then the uniform, put that on. You can see for yourself, now it has some sauce, right? Then they put a stun on there, and now it's deserving of something more than just the cooldown. You can see stun there, and we have a 45, 145, so 10% more on the 3rd. And she also becomes invisible, right, for 5 seconds, which is very good, right? Additionally, right here, we have damage immunity and damage accumulation, and there's a 55% chance for the enemy's attack to miss. We have 30% dodge there. Honestly, they could have did better for the uniform, especially when they literally, to me at the very least, right, I feel like they kind of like shortchanged the base kit to sell the uniform. which I don't think they needed to do because, like, visually speaking, I think this uniform looks amazing and people would have bought it regardless, especially when you're offering a 20% physical attack buff and some ignore dodge. I think people would have bought that regardless, but I feel like both with and without the uniform, she's lacking in survivability. That's what I've felt so far in the limited testing I've done. Now, I don't have her completely built because this is the test server, so I'm not going to spend too much time doing all that. I'm thinking about getting her on my own account just because I've had so many of you guys requesting her, but I am free to play right now. So what I'm going to do is when the update drops, I'm going to create a straw poll. I'm going to have you guys vote, right? And I'll let you guys know when it's up. I'm gonna have you guys vote whether or not you want me to purchase the character just to show you guys how good or bad she is. And that's pretty much the only thing I'm willing to purchase in this update as of right now. I'm waiting for the patch notes and then I'll make my final decision. Anyways, moving on. Let's jump into a little bit of content and let's see how she rocks so you guys can have an idea of what you're in for if you're willing to drop a couple dollars on her. I was testing her out with this team right here with Beast and Colossus, right? Because she needs a little bit of survivability. And we're not going to go with Anti-Venom because I want you guys to see what her survivability looks like. It gets a little bit better with the uniform because of the invisibility, right? But it still feels lacking. All right, so we're gonna go with the 3 for the attack buff. Then we're gonna go 5. That was really, really close. I gotta be careful. Whew. It's definitely easier to play her with the uniform, but it's still really dicey because your invisibility runs out before your force skill actually finishes. And I think the ideal rotation would be to go 3-4-5 or 3-5-4. Actually, I think it's tough, right? I think 3-5-4 is better for a regular damage proc, but when you do 3-5-4, right, because you already have damage immunity and an iframe on the 5, you're kind of wasting some of the the invisibility. So if you don't have a regular damage proc, let's say you really love her and you give her rage or something, it's probably better to go 3-4-5. Honestly, even though you want the true damage accumulation, it's probably better to go 3-4-5 because then you're really safe, right? So you kind of have to sacrifice a little bit of damage for survivability with her, because if you use the 3 and then 4, that invisibility from the 3 is going to make it so that the boss doesn't move because they can't see you, and then you're going to jump right into the 5. You can see that now that I've switched up the rotation and I'm no longer optimizing like the gameplay for damage, she's becoming a little bit safer. That's what you're gonna notice. So 3-4-5 seems to be the way to get better survivability, but I think 3-5-4 might be the way for more damage. Alright. We're just gonna see how long it takes me to get down to 7 bars here. You can see I'm not really taking too many hits now that I've switched up the rotation, so yeah. And she is fairly easy to play with the uniform. You can literally just use the skills off cooldown. And we're gonna go 3 again. So it kind of seems like we have mind control or something like that, but we actually don't. It's just because she's invisible when you're using, like you can see right there, she's like, that looks so cool, man. Okay, so let's switch off the uniform. Now, this is where you're gonna see that I think they intentionally shortchange the character to kind of sell the uniform, because you're gonna notice that her survivability really kind of goes down the toilet a little bit. Yeah, see? Like if I try to use 354, she dies way faster. Right? I'm just gonna see how long I can make it using 354, and then I'm gonna try switching to the rotation that I was using with the uniform, which is 345 at the end there, which ended up being good enough for her to stay alive and possibly complete the stage. And I think if I wanted to, like if I had, boop, okay, I was trying to use the three. If I wanted to, and I had started with 345 for the rotation for her, I think I could have gone the entire fight. And as long as there wasn't like Toxic Meteor or like a Blade Twister or something, Proxima basically could never hit me. So she might actually become one of those characters that if her base damage is good enough, you don't even need to use her with mind control strikers just because she has the invincibility. I keep saying invincibility. Invisibility. It's because so many characters have invincibility and it's a way to keep them safe, and the invisibility is doing the same thing but better, because invincibility can be debuffed. The bosses can still see you. There's some things that can penetrate invincibility, whereas when you're invisible, you're literally safe from everything. Anyways, let's do another run here. So we're gonna try to do 345, and we're gonna try and make use of the guard. All right. But the thing about a guard is that can be debuffed, or the boss can do the boss can do enough hits to just take the guard off you because you're stationary in our fourth skill, and they can just move out of. You see, that's another good thing about the invisibility. Because you're invisible, the boss stops moving and they stay in the radius of your attacks with her. So the fourth skill with the lightning on the ground, if you're invisible, right? I have to make a conscious effort to say the right word, but you guys get what I'm saying. If you're invisible, they'll stay right beside you, and the bombs or the missiles will drop on top of them, or they'll get shot. Right? So 345 seems to actually be working a little bit better than I thought it would. But I think it's a good position both for me and from Proxima being in a corner and us not getting debuffed by the Purifying Wind, because that will take away our guard, but we're not doing nearly as much damage. And I think it has more to do with the attacks missing, but there's another thing to keep in mind. You're getting another 30%. Actually, it's more than that. It's 30% from the uniform, like 20 from the uniform bonus, the physical attack, 10 from the attack buff on the third skill, plus the uniform is also at mythic, right? So there's quite a bit coming from the uniform. So I'm actually not gonna lie to you guys, which again, I never lie to you guys, like on purpose anyways. I wouldn't do that. But I'm actually doing a lot better this run than I was when I was testing her initially. So maybe once you get a little bit better with using her, you might not have too much of an issue keeping her alive, especially if you, okay, we're gonna have to bail out there, especially if you use anti-venom with her. Before, when I was using her, I was just dying really quickly, but I think once you get the rotation down pat, you might actually be able to make efficient use of just having the guard. But right there, ooh, I almost, okay, almost got clapped. But I think you're gonna be on death's door with her if you try to play her without without anti-venom. You don't want to give yourself those kind of migraines. And I'm saying, like, oh, maybe you do, I don't know. So yeah, you can see like the difference in damage is clear, and also the frustration of just having your attacks miss. It's kind of annoying, especially against Proxima. She's one of those characters that's notoriously known for just jumping backwards constantly and moving around all the time. So yeah, what I will say though is she is probably, like, base kit wise, better than Black Widow with any of her previous uniforms, right? Which means the 3099 Black Widow, the endgame Black Widow. I think at the very least, base kit Yelena is actually better than all of the previous Black Widow uniforms, obviously not counting the new one coming with this update. So that's something for you to keep in mind, okay? all of these uniforms leading up to this one, right? I think the base kit for Yelena may actually be better. So, hey, take from it what you will. This one still feels uh kind of incomplete to me. I think one additional iframe on the base kit and the uniform would actually be much better. That's just my 2 cents. Everything else is okay because again, she's a Black Widow. If anything, I would say maybe a paralysis skill that works in World Boss, right? Since they're spiders, right? So maybe like paralyze you with a sting or whatever. That'll be dope. Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up right here. You guys leave me your thoughts in the comments. Just wanted to give you guys a first look at Yelena here. I think she's gonna be a good character, but again, expectations are always higher for characters that cost money. And where the game is right now, with every turn, they're asking for more and more money, and not really giving you too much else for your investment. So the least they can do, in my opinion, is make it so that the characters that they want to sell actually are worth the money. That's it. If you're gonna spend every single update just making new characters, make them good or do something else. That's all I'm saying. I'm gone. Peace.